Hello out there. Today we're going to take a quick look at this Blu-ray release of Wild Things by Arrow Video. I did some research on this release and discovered that the consensus seems to be that the Blu-ray, the 1080p Blu-ray, actually looks better than the 4K. And I'm not entirely, I did not rely on my own eyes for that. I just read a couple different reviews, and as such, ended up saving a little bit of money on this pickup. And it looks great. I had the standard def DVD prior to this, and I thought it looked okay, but definitely didn't fully capture the atmosphere that was on screen as I remembered it when seeing it in theaters and its initial release back in, I think, March of '98. This movie, of course, is a classic Florida noir Skinamax type movie that sort of fits in the same general orbit as Basic Instinct, Showgirls. It's definitely trashy, but much smarter than you would think, and I think that's largely due to a pretty tight script and some able direction by John McNaughton, who of course did Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, another film I've reviewed that sits on my shelf and is an excellent entry into that genre. But this flick is an absolute hoot to watch. Obviously, it is not meant to be taken seriously. It's a very sort of tongue-in-cheek Florida noir romp with some pretty salacious sex scenes that are, of course, often talked about. But I think what really makes this film, in my view, stand the test of time and still manage to entertain 20 some years on, is that it's just expertly, I think the writing and the atmosphere, the direction, and even the acting by some very good leads all just sort of fire on their respective cylinders. You've got, of course, Kevin Bacon, Denise Richards, who up until that point had really not been a known commodity. She had just finished Starship Troopers and of course was pretty notable in that, and this one came out just a few months after that. Then we have Matt Dillon and of course Neve Campbell, and then there's a sort of a cameo turn by Bill Murray. It's just a blast. I remember really enjoying myself in the theaters and being struck by how sharp it was. So this is the Arrow Video Collector's Edition, and as you can see, they put this nice hard case box to encase it in. This is the J, I think this is the J card, as they call it. Yeah, here it is. Sorry, I haven't taken it off yet, but yeah, this basically just provides the details on the disc itself, and of course that's the artwork once the J card comes off. Then you've got this great booklet, which is pretty interesting in and of itself, with some nice still photography from the film and a few essays. Very entertaining from what I've read of it so far. And then you've got this great double-sided movie poster, which features the original artwork from the theatrical release, as well as the newly commissioned fan art that sits on the other side, which I like. I know some people have complained that it doesn't compare or it doesn't hold up to the original, but I kind of like it. I think it's a little more subtle, which this movie is not, so it's in some ways it's sort of ironic. But I can happily report that the Blu-ray looks terrific. Its AQ and PQ are definitely top shelf. This is a very good looking Blu-ray, and I've got no complaints on the audio or video quality. And the supplements, while not there's not a bevy of features, there are some good interviews, most notably by John McNaughton and the director, and then of course Denise Richards. It also features some director commentary and some trailers, still photography, and most notably also it features both the unrated cut and the theatrical cut, which incidentally the assumption might be that the unrated just has more raunch, but in fact it doesn't. It's just got more character development, including some more scenes with Bill Murray, which is always a good thing. So on balance, I think that this is one of Arrow Video's best releases I've seen to date. It's certainly a shelf-worthy, film in my opinion. It features also some really cool lobby cards, which is a nice touch. There's of course Matt Dillon, who it's interesting, the interview with Denise Richards, she indicated that I think Robert Downey Jr. was originally going to play that part, and while I think he would have been terrific in it, and I don't think there's any arguing that RDJ is a better actor than Matt Dillon. I think Matt Dillon is pretty damn good in his own right, and he fits very nicely in this film. My favorite Matt Dillon performance is probably Drugstore Cowboy, which I think was just amazing work by him. Of course, Kevin Bacon. You get to see Kevin's Bacon in this film, infamously so. Again, I'm a big fan of this flick. I think it's just always puts a smile on my face whenever I watch it, and I think also the score is quite good too, by I believe George Clinton. It's got a very just atmospheric sound design, and the locations. I just think this is one of those really fun flicks that's punches above its weight, considerably so, in fact. So on that note, I would just say definitely give this one a watch if you've not seen it. I think you'll be surprised by how much you enjoy it, and if you have and you like it, I would definitely say this is the one to get to add to your shelf. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. Stay safe, be kind, and by all means keep watching good and raunchy cinema.